Welcome to Bonehead Weekly. And
This week on a very special Bonehead.
well, it is kind of special. One of us almost died, but he's better now.
Hey,
Well,
Why is Chad waving? I was talking about Brandon Routh in the back.
did he almost die? I
I
think
don't
his
know.
career did when he made Dylan Dog.
Oh, one of the worst movies I've
Easy
ever
now.
seen.
By the way,
Woo.
Dylan Dog, what a great series that needs to be adapted.
hey,
Anyway,
he was a decent Ray Palmer.
Yeah, no, I actually I said that actually I like him as Ray Palmer kind of better than I do Superman. The
Hmm.
problem is that show wasn't he didn't play the Atom. He
No,
played he played DC Iron Man.
he did,
And by the
which
way, he did it well. Actually, he was more likable in some ways. Like he put some nuance in that character that wasn't there the way it was originally scripted as it went on.
I really liked Legends of Tomorrow, but that irked me to no end that they made the Atom their Iron Man. It made no sense. But anyway,
I'm just
yeah,
listening to you all. I didn't even know what show you were talking about till you said Legends of Tomorrow. See,
yeah,
It,
and
Chad
they're
was sick, and now he's blurry again.
my camera is bad.
oh my God, is this one of those? Did our budget get cut? Is
Hold
this
on,
like
no,
one of those?
James. Chad's room is filled with fumes.
Or or Joe, I was going a different way with it. Is this like Star Trek the original series when they had to cast some older actresses so they'd Vaseline the lens so
An
that the
older
wrinkles.
actress, yeah.
Yeah,
That
so
could
the
be.
wrinkles when it showed they'd Vaseline the lens.
Yeah, I can still see it's his face though. What do you got?
Yeah,
Anything stronger Vaseline? You got any of that 90 weight gear oil?
What's that? What do you
uh,
put on the PTO of a tractor? I'm showing
Right,
my roots here.
that a gum.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
a
I mean,
gum.
it's a
There he
gel
is.
till it
Hey,
gets
before he
hot.
put his hand up, it cleared up.
Oh,
did
it
it?
really did. Oh
Yeah,
my
it
God! It
did. It
now it's
cleared.
back.
It
There
did.
we
Oh,
go.
Oh,
there
there
you
it
go.
goes.
Okay, so we were going to do this 2 weeks ago, and Chad almost died on us. He's better now, so I've been told by the attorneys that do all the actual talking, but betwixt us.
Or hold on.
Yeah.
In all fairness, sometimes the best way to get views is a conspiracy theory. Hey kids, go back and watch our original episodes and ask yourself, is this the same Chad that we had before? Do
He
do
didn't
do
have
do
this
do
cool
do.
ass hat before.
Is it under the hat you're wearing? Oh, what is it? What are you wearing?
The Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp.
The
Usually
a
when
jumbo.
Joe
Yeah, he keeps twisting, so it's hard.
usually usually when Joe asks that question, he's paying $3.99 a minute.
Yeah, basically, it's usually, and then I they
By the way,
spell
I'm
it.
nobody
also
gets that joke anymore. There's not one
I'm also
900 anymore.
wearing my Ninja Turtle Evil Dead ripoff hoodie.
Oh, that's cool. Where'd you get that?
tpublic.com.
We
Well,
need to get them to sponsor us because I actually am getting ready to buy some stuff from there because they
they
have
didn't
just
write us a
everything.
check.
I know,
Time to
which is why I said
burn
we should get
shit.
them to
Yes.
sponsor us. Not they're already our sponsor. T Public, if you'd like to contact us, we'll take whatever you give.
Once again, you're going to have to go through our attorneys. We don't speak. Now,
Not goodly.
we wanted to do this last week and weren't able to, and I'm glad Chad's better. That being said, let's talk about it. Let's unpack it. Everybody else unpacked it. And actually, it's probably okay that we waited a while so we could get whatever hell gate that was called about the episode that wasn't ever going to drop. That I don't. How
Or
should we
is
start
it?
about attacking the last season of Stranger Things?
I don't get it. And here's and so
What do you
you
mean? You don't get Stranger Things?
no, I don't get why people are
Or I meant us attacking. I mean, well, how about unboxing it or
yeah,
breaking it
yeah.
down or
What
whatever?
here's the entire thing. I had fun with it.
I did
I did
Now,
too.
too.
here's the entire thing about it is um they're not like I really find it interesting of people I know, not counting you two. It really seems like people are of two minds about it, and they're both extremes. One is what's the last season's not as fun as it was the first season when they're just playing Dungeons and Dragons in their basement, and I'm like, no, because they're fighting the forces of evil.
No
Like,
other season came close,
and
but
then
that's okay.
the other group is all of them should have died. Not really, but it's like, wow, there should have been calamity. There should have been, and I don't get that either.
Well, and here's
Uh,
the thing: the show was set up for that really not to happen. I mean, it never had that feel to it. You know what I mean?
yeah. Well,
They did kill off some major characters throughout the time,
Oh no,
what?
they
No,
did, but
But it usually was one season off characters.
Yeah. Rudy wasn't going to make it. And I think that's really that makes sense, right? To me, it makes sense. You don't have the show was from the beginning about them, right?
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
them are them, right? They're going to they need to be, and so I think even in the end, when you have this, oh, they're separating, they're going to spoiler, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's
they're
go
going to,
ahead and right now, if you've not seen Stranger Things, the final season, and you're a huge Stranger Things fan and you want to know about the ending of Stranger Things, this is an unusual time for you to listen to us or watch
yeah.
us.
If you wait, if you were like, no, I'm going to wait till it's been out 3 months before I watch it.
But
Spoilers?
I'm going to go to Bonehead first to get their thoughts because out of the three people who want our thoughts on this, then this is a strange conversation and I would like to meet you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd like to meet you in a controlled situation. Please
Oh,
don't show up outside
oh
my
God,
house.
yeah. I mean, you are going to be put in a cage, brought in on some
Yeah.
sort of back of some truck, and they're going to lower it, and it's a whole thing.
And before you meet us, you'll be studied by top men.
Top.
Top men.
Yeah.
If you get that reference, thank you.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about every kind of spoiler ending thing as we go. So, James, you were saying.
And again, spoiler. All the kids live. All
What?
and well, arguably they all live if you want to
I know. And I want to talk about the ending once you get done
believe. But
pontificating.
I to me, I wanted it that way. Like I wanted the risk of them not, but I'll be honest, and way back in the day there used to be magazines and you could write to them and do letters to that. It's one of the only times I did it. Sci-Fi Channel used to have the Sci-Fi Channel magazine. And I know what you're thinking. James, you followed the science fiction channel? I did. And so I wrote a letter to them. If you go back and find it in the archives, I'll be shocked. But
Did it
one
get
of,
published?
because it did. I don't know if it only got published on their online one or if it got published in print. I always read
Did you
online
know
'cause
this
I was
about
cheap.
him, Chad?
Nope.
But I went off on a rant, and it was
We're
one
going to go
of
off
my
on a rant here.
I literally back when Dennis Miller was somebody I enjoyed when he used big words and made me feel stupid. I mean, he still does, but it's not as fun anymore. Anyway, and I did. I went off on a rant because there seemed to be a period of time when it was like, oh, was that something you enjoyed in the 80s? We're killing that character off. You saw it with Highlander Endgame. You saw it with Star Trek Generations. You saw it with, and it makes sense to a point. They killed off Chewbacca. I'm sorry, Joe. Real fans know this, but
Yeah, because it's in
Chewbacca
a book,
died
I
in the
guess.
books.
And I can't read.
Yeah, you can. I
Yeah.
will one day get help for you. I mean, I'm not going to put effort into it, but somebody
No.
might.
No.
Anyway, so
Wouldn't
Chewbacca
expect
got
you
killed
to.
off in the Star Wars novel, and he was, before we got new movies, he was dead. Like there was no, oh, he's back. No, he was dead. It- and he was killed by a moon falling on him, which is a heck of a way to go. You'd think you'd see it coming.
Yeah, besides the moon, but yeah, you would think. Anyway, where in the hell are you going with this?
My point is, there's enough of me that's sick of seeing characters that I like die. That's not saying I never want to see it again. If it's organic, if it makes sense. But honestly, what were you going to do? Spin a reel of wheel and say who all died? So I either wanted them all to die together.
That'd
We'll
have been
call
a
that
good.
the Toy Story 3 ending,
Yeah.
except,
Yeah. They
without a save.
Mhm.
Or them all to live. I'm really kind of happy they all lived. I'll be honest, if they want to do 15 sequels and 10 years from now make a video game where you find out that 11 is in Norway or wherever, great. I'll probably be along for the ride. It was fine. And it actually, I mean, there were scenes in it where I was like, oh, that works. And then
Yeah.
the other thing that I've asked people when they're like, no, somebody should have died, I'm like, pick one. Pick one. Go ahead. Pick one character to die. And I'm going to tell you what's wrong with you.
Dustin.
Get ready to say Dustin.
Dustin should have died, but that's beside the point.
Why do you
Why?
hate?
Okay.
Well, no, I didn't want Dustin to die. I was just saying if I had to pick one, I would have said him.
Well, I think that would have probably given the biggest emotional blow.
Mhm.
Right? Because how could poor sweet Dustin die? Well, turns out Demogorgon. So Chad, you want to talk about the ending? And then I just have a thing.
I
What do you
mean,
think?
I did not. The ending didn't bother me. It didn't. I don't understand the hatred for it. Now, like I said, Game of Thrones. Oh my God. Yeah. Even Lost, I can understand the hatred for the ending of Lost, even though I cared. I liked that one. But I thought there's only one little piece that bothered me about Stranger Things, and it wasn't enough to ruin the whole season for me. The series finale for me.
Was it the ending?
It was part of the ending, just a
What is the
small little
part? What
part.
is the part?
The army, they just left.
Oh,
Linda Hamilton's gone. Never mind the fact that Will Byers there with his still has probably some latent powers, and Max is there with her
yeah.
abilities. But no, they just said, "Oh well, it's
What,
she blew up
Chad?
a hole. We're not going to do this anymore."
Chad, in all fairness, I mean, if you don't, and you all probably know this, but if not, um, cool. Um, it was originally going to be called the Montauk, right? It wasn't going to be called Stranger Things. It was going to be called Montauk because it was based on, and you can actually find this, the Montauk Project.
Yeah,
And the Montauk Project was a continuation of the Philadelphia experiment, according to conspiracy theorists. They were at Montauk Air Force Base in New York. They originally were going to set it there, and then they realized it's more expensive to have to film in snow, and it tends to
Mhm.
be colder there. Um, but it was an alleged. Please, government men, don't show up at my house. I don't believe in conspiracy theories. Allegedly, it was meant to start as psychological warfare, but then they started to experiment with everything from um, parapsychology technologies, time travel. Basically, if you saw it in Stranger Things, a conspiracy theory is that they had a lab at Montauk working on it.
yeah. And like I said, that portion of it, I was like, it would have been better if they found a way to write that. But I'm okay with everything they did. I mean, they fought evil Swamp Thing.
No, Pennywise, Freddy Krueger.
No, look at Vecna's design and look at Swamp Thing. They're pretty much similar.
Yeah, well, I'll get to that in a
But
minute. Go ahead.
I said it. Nothing bothered me. I when it ended. I'm like, good job. I'm good.
So James and I
So
talked.
that one little piece.
Yeah, James and I talked
Go
about
ahead.
this because you couldn't come over, and then I was like, well, we need to save it for the episode. But I think the Duffer Brothers, there's stuff that bothered me about it, but I think the Duffer Brothers not only gave you a safe ending, but they also gave you a sacrificial ending, and I thought that was fairly ingenious, right? And
Same
and
here.
wh- and when you're able to kill 11, which is what it looks like happens, and then later on do a little thing where it gives you hope about 11 and what might have actually happened. You were able to please both sides of the audience, and I thought that was fairly ingenious. Now,
Yeah.
back to Chad's point, he's complaining about the army disappearing. I agree. My biggest complaints about the whole last season had really nothing to do with the actual ending because the actual ending of the next generation going down to play was a perfect way to wrap that series up.
Yeah.
I could not have thought of anything better, them in there. And by the way, once again, doing references to stuff. What drove me crazy about this season was, oh my God, the exposition. It
Yeah.
was so, it's so bad.
That was going to be my complaint.
It's so bad. The acting's bad when they're doing it, but you can't hardly blame them because it's just so much exposition.
Hmm.
That's one. Linda Hamilton was the most unused character actor they could have, who was a really good actress.
Hmm.
And they could have cast anybody in that role. They used her so little.
Right. Yeah. I think they just put her in there
I just,
because they could get her, and it's just an ode to the '80s because she was.
exposition that the scene where he comes out, I get why that would be different in 87. Still, it goes on so long and beats so many just little it drove me crazy as far as not that he's coming out, but just like, oh, you're just beating this over the head. We get it. We're in a different, but also we're looking at it from what society is now and how it's changed in 40 years.
Yeah.
That being said, James and I were talking about this. I am going to go out. Another thing I love about that ending is that when they're talking about Vecna, and it's like, oh, she's going to make Vecna. No, he says right before he's impaled, I needed it and it needed me. I did this. I did it on my own.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
He's
love
a
that they did that with the bad guy.
yeah, he's a
Instead of-
true villain.
yeah, I did it. And because they do that whole where they almost get it, to me, that was even more brilliant than the ending. It was like, oh no, were they going to give him like, oh, the poor guy? It's like, no, it needed me and I needed it. I made a choice.
Yeah.
Thank you for making him into an actual. I think James Wright, we both agreed. It was like, yes, thank
Yeah.
you. He is
Yeah.
just a bad dude. He's
Well,
a bad dude who got into a circumstance where he was allowed to be a bad dude. Most of us, if someone even shoots at us, still don't take that rock and keep busting,
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
right? You may defend
Yeah.
yourself
Or
if you
run.
know,
How
or
about run? I'll be honest. If you shoot me and I'm still able to run, you still have more shots.
Yeah,
Probably.
most
Actually,
people.
we know he did. We know he did in that scene because we see it again.
Yep. And then I forgot where I was actually going with this. I'm going to attack some of the people who attack this show. Right now, I'm not attacking you, but you're so full of shit, screaming that I can't believe they ripped off Pennywise and it with that big giant Spanish spider. Are you kidding me? They've had Freddy Krueger as the bad guy for 4 seasons. They went out of their way to cast Robert Englund in the show. Not only did they do that, there's 10,000 other references of other things that they ripped off. That's the part of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and it's let's say
But
hypothetically.
Chad, just the people, even in and God bless them, the Scarefest group of just like I can't believe they did this, and it wasn't really complaining. I'm just thinking of a couple people, but it's that they've been doing it the whole time.
That was one of the whole points of the show.
Of course, it looks like it. They went
Yeah,
out
well,
of their
that was my
way. I
entire
say
thing.
to
So let's-
James, they have flamethrowers. They went put a flamethrower in it, and then went out of the way to cut to the thing in the last 2 shots. Before the kids go up, they still cut to the poster. It's right there. You can't tell me you didn't frame that on purpose. Sorry.
No, you're absolutely right. And that's the entire thing about it. And again, let's face it, I mean, if you're of a certain age, you got into Stranger Things because it's a ton of nostalgia.
There's a
And
ton.
I
Their
had
cabin
fun.
looks straight up almost like the cabin from the Evil Dead, their house. When
Yeah.
you cut to the front of it. I mean, there's just it, and that's what we loved about it. It was its own thing.
Yep.
It's similar. It says, "Oh no, we know this is similar. This is similar, but we've put it into this big pot with what all the other James was talking about with the conspiracy, and this is what it is." But really, what it's about are these 4 little kids growing up together.
Five.
Five little kids. Sorry,
And then
Growing-
eventually 6.
that's what it's
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
Well, all right then. Well, this has been Bonehead Week. and We'll see you all
But-
later. It's a good talking to you.
You know, I think though that the thing about like again, I'm circling back to this, and we've already said it, but I don't see the hate. I don't see the logic behind the hate.
It's
Just
just so
simply-
big.
Well, and here's the entire thing. It's if you make something, and I'm sure the Duffer Brothers aren't, crying or anything right now.
No,
But if you make something so big
yeah,
and so loved,
just the cultural impact.
there's no way you're going to end it and make everybody happy.
No, but Chad's right. It is such a better ending than everything he just listed. And I like
Yeah.
Lost. The ending of Lost didn't bother me. It's like,
It didn't bother me either. I was like,
But
it's
it is
okay.
still a better ending than Lost. It's still a better ending than Game of Thrones. It's still a better ending than The Sopranos.
The
I
only
will
thing it's
go
not
on
better.
a limb and say, huh?
It's not better than Breaking Bad. That's about the only one that it can't compete with.
Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. Better
Better
Call
Call
Saul has a
Saul.
really Better Call Saul brings that.
I will eventually watch it. Don't ruin it for me.
It's
but
not.
no.
It's just.
And
Hey,
it's better than
Chad.
this. It was better than The Sopranos. I mean, it gave us everything we wanted, but people are focusing on the little nitpicky things. And I'm like, it's a show. If this was a movie, it would be over in 2 hours.
Yeah. Well, and that's
I mean-
the entire thing. Like, Are there stuff that I rolled my eyes at? If
Yes, almost always exposition.
no, actually,
Whenever they're explaining how they're I'm like,
exposition didn't exposition
It
didn't get
got
me
rough.
half as bad as actually none of the exposition bothered me as much as it did you all, evidently. But the scene where I get you want to explain it, where Sadie Sink's character is like you have to find your own exit, and they go to divide, and I'm like, hustle, hustle, just move. Like
Oh,
I know you had to explain it to her, and that part makes sense. But when you're slowly walking away, no, 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 no. That
my
should have been a breakneck run. And there were
my
even
8-year-old watched it and turned around and goes, "Shouldn't she be running?"
there was an entire meme that was I sent it to Dana, and I if I can find it, I'll send it to you all. Dana's my wife. I sent it to Dana because it literally was I'm
There is
going
no
to
Dana. There is
finish.
only Zool.
I'm going to tell you what you need to do, and then we're going to turn and leisurely stroll away while everybody in the entire cosmos as we know it is in increased danger.
Yep.
And I was like, yeah, that was the only time where I was like, because I can suspend disbelief. You built a world, I'm having fun in it, but I was like, can we move a little bit? Can
Oh, there
we
was a bunch of that.
hustle? But the exposition bothered me less than that. I think the other part of it though that is as it closes, and we're going to get spin-offs and sequels and stuff probably for years to come, and I will watch all of them
Well, and
until I get bored.
it's a multi-generational thing where each generation grows up and has adventures together. You have friends and you do stupid. Of course, it's a little, I don't know if kids actually go out, and I'm not trying to be the old guy on the hill, but do kids actually still go out and get and do stuff like outside? And
I mean, to an extent. But I think the flip side of it though is, and you brought this up, and I think actually we talked about this in passing. The only part, and give credit to Curtis, longtime friend of the show, but
yeah,
he made the comment. The only thing that's most unbelievable about that is when the we'll call them the elder Gen X kids are sitting and they're like, we'll get back together every month and we'll meet in Louisville or what have
yeah,
you.
yep, yep.
And he posted immediately going, I mean, that's not going to happen. Yeah,
It's just not
you,
going to happen.
you're that age now. It's not going to happen. And so I actually responded to his comment, and I'm like, well, they will, but not all of them will show up every time. Maybe once a year they'll all get together at Christmas or something. I speak from experience, but this once a month we're all going to be able to get together. No, no, you're an adult now, and life sucks. And go ahead and
The
just summon that
80s.
Demogorgon.
It's the 80s. They've got Blow and Wall Street to do. They got to do
Yeah.
it quick. I
Start filming your dramas about cocaine and whatnot.
right. You gotta have your own less than zero moment. I I don't yeah, all that worked. The ending worked. They got everybody kind of a wrapped up thing. And if I swear to and they had to have a sacrifice. Otherwise, even if you just would have felt cheated. That's the reason why I said I kind of assumed I didn't think that it'd be 11 because I'm with obviously Chad and I was like, well, you want to go with the one with the most pathos. I mean, I would have probably killed Dustin,
yeah.
but then
I
you
mean,
wouldn't have got the graduation scene.
and
Which is
they
all a
had us.
callback.
Mm-hmm. Go
He
ahead, Chad.
does exactly what
Yep.
Eddie wanted to do
Ready?
before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say they basically had a sacrifice almost every season the show was on the air.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody died.
Yeah,
Almost.
yeah, to sacrificing themselves for everybody else. So I mean,
That's a
yeah,
good point.
yeah, I mean it was Sean Astin, Hopper won it, and then her evil Max's evil brother, the Red Power Ranger,
I didn't know
Darcy
he's a Red
Montgomery.
Power Ranger.
Yeah, in the movie
Boy, he's
version.
got some lovely abs, I'll tell you that.
But and that's true.
Oh boy,
I
oh
think
boy, oh boy.
I think what's really interesting about it too, though,
That is
is
a good point. It's almost one every season.
Hmm.
And the only one I regretted, other than Eddie, was Sean Astin's character.
Yeah, Sean
what,
Astin's was brutal.
Yeah, oh, yeah, yeah. But apparently
but
he asked him to make it he didn't want to go out like a bitch.
Yeah,
by the way, I saw an interview with him a while back, and it was somebody was like, "Well, why didn't he do this?" why didn't he do this? Or if, wouldn't of you have done this if it was actually you? And Sean asked it was hilarious because he goes, well, you have to think about the character's mindset. And he goes, as for what I would have done, I would have read the script. And when they said Bob does this, I would have went, okay, that's what Bob does. All right, I'll hit my marks. I was like, yeah, that's fair. I mean,
Yeah.
he didn't write the thing.
Yes. Yes.
Um,
He was
but
on
yeah,
one of the biggest television shows when no one watches television shows, or at least the most. We all are so splintered that we watch so many different television shows that there's nothing getting a 35, 40 share. And you were on one of the biggest shows in the last 20 years, 10 years
a television show that they showed the last episode of in
in the
theaters,
theater that
and
sold
it
out.
made millions.
Yes.
So the thing about that is too, though, is again, actually, and we didn't even mention if we're going to talk about deaths that stuck around. There are still people. Like I was reading the conspiracy theories, some of them about this. So you mentioned it. What was it called? What was it? What Calamity
Conspiracy-
Gate? I forget.
It's claims gate. Well, so really quick, I can't remember the name of it. I'm not going to be able to Google it because if you're really into Stranger Things, you already know it. But it was, oh, there's a secret episode that's going to be dropping. They did it 2 or 3 times. One of the times they killed Netflix, everybody logging on at the same time. And I thought this was preposterous. And I work in higher ed, James and Chad, listen to this. And I thought to myself, oh, these are just fringe nerds, yada, yada. I was reading through it. I don't really think about it. I had to go to a breakfast meeting because I'm lucky I get off a little bit of time at the Christmas holiday. So when I go back after the second or the first of the year, I had to go to a breakfast meeting, and a bunch of people are around the buffet, all talking about this, all in higher education. None of them nerds talking about, yeah, no, it's going to drop tonight. And none of them, as I'm walking by and then kind of pause over towards the bacon, which I've been known to do, pause around that bacon, listening to them, they're not joking and they believe it.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's fat. But which, by the way,
That's
means
all,
that
that's the part where we get late shooting that I wanted to talk about as we got to. But go
yeah,
ahead.
no, that's the and by the way, what a great legacy that is.
It's fantastic.
Can you
If I was the
imagine?
Duffer Brothers and was 10 feet away, and please forgive me, audience, I'd be hard as rock. I would never be more excited than that. Can you imagine the three of us going and knowing that there's nothing?
Right.
Yeah,
We're,
but
but
even
you
when
have
they
made that
said
much of an
no,
impact. Oh
well,
my
and that's
God.
it.
Even if it's bad, I would still be excited.
Even when they were like, no, there's not. Of course, people were like, oh, see that they're in on it. And I'm like,
Yeah, that's what they would say. That's
they
what they would say.
can't do it.
And I kept thinking, guys, do you think they kept this secret somehow, some way?
Well, I do give credit though because I'm the actor that played Delightful Dustin. Uh,
Greg
uh,
Mullis.
yeah, but like the fact that he did it and pretty much kept it under wraps by telling people that he was out filming mayonnaise commercials. That's what he was disappearing for and filming was mayonnaise commercials. By the way, the other thing that I did learn, and I didn't learn it till earlier this week, was somebody that I meet at conferences.
Sorry, I'm behind this cat. If you're
Yeah,
watching
but
this
well,
on
what's funny is it's the first time your screen has been fuzzier than Chad's.
He's got to
The
where he needs to be in shots.
um
Yes,
somebody
Chad.
that I actually know was present at the filming of the last season. She was one of the on-site teachers for the kids.
Oh yeah.
And she was like, yeah, I had to sign all DNAs. I couldn't tell anybody. And by the way, I literally was like, you could have told me. And she goes, no, no, no. And I
Yeah,
was
they
like,
will do an NDA about the NDA.
it honestly, like she was like, no, it was. And she said that behind the scenes making of thing that came out, the filming of the last season,
I
she
haven't
said,
watched it yet.
I haven't either. But she said, I'm not in it, but they had us sign even if we weren't in it because they did an NDA, I guess, about that NDA. And I may be misremembering
No,
some of
they'll
that.
do
I
it.
don't want
Well,
her to
Nick
get in
has
trouble
talked to us
because
about it.
she
Our
didn't tell
good
me
friend
anything.
Nick Strawn has talked
But
about signing MDAs about the NDAs.
yeah, and so, but she, she said I was just there to teach some of the kids. That's it. That was, I mean, she's a teacher, and she was like, they called and they said, hey, will you come on set? And because if you're a working child actor, you still have to attend classes, and so she got the call. hiring a bunch of other teachers because, of course, you have to hire age-appropriate teachers. So, your young kids have an elementary school teacher. So there were a ton of teachers on that set. And I'll be honest, I hadn't thought about that. And I'm like, how flippin' cool would that be? My phone, and I literally commented on her thing later. I was like, listen, me and some friends are in the background on a Friday the 13th DVD that was
I
filmed
don't think
locally.
people believe me when it'll pop up. Like the other day, I was like, James, I think James and I are in that. I don't think
Yeah,
anybody believes me.
we're in the background.
We're in the
It's there, but I
background.
literally that's my claim to fame. That's it. That's it. Nobody has ever said, "Hey, James, would you like to come on set and consult on what education looked like?" This no,
We've been
I
told
could
we would
I
be
could have
asked,
do
but it's never happened.
I could do some I could have helped with Welcome to Derry. I could have got some, well, actually here's what you would have had on the walls here. I have that data. My phone did not ring. It turns out they're very worried about accuracy on some things, but they could care less about school accuracy,
Mm.
which is fine. By the way, it would have added nothing. Nobody was going to actually pay attention to what was on the walls. They're looking for creepy clowns. But I say all of that to say it was still one of those coolest things. I'm like, oh, I would have lost my mind in a good way. I would have signed the NDA and kept my mouth shut. But I literally it would have been. I found out a colleague of mine that USM was. He's a little older than I am. He was one of the consulting historians for a couple episodes of the Young Indiana Jones Chronicle, and I'm like, dude, that is amazing. He goes, yeah, it's really amazing when they call you and say, hey, we're going to screen the episodes at ILM. We need you to come in and correct anything so we can do reshoots. And so he was like, yeah, watching it on a huge screen at Isle or at, I'm sorry, Lucas,
Mm-hmm. That's okay. Keep
his
on just
ranch would have.
keep on, yeah, yes, that's Skywalker Ranch. Keep on just dropping those names there.
No, dude, doesn't do me any good. All these people get cool things, and his comment was, I'm a World War One historian. Of course, I could comment on it. I'm like, yeah, that's awesome. How did they find like why you? I mean, and by the way, he's brilliant. But I was just like, why did that never happen for me? Is it me? I bet it's me.
Chad, you haven't spoke much. What else you got to say about the finality of the Stranger Things?
No, I mean, it's like I said, I mean, I other than that one little piece, which again didn't bother me, the only thing that really got to me was the exposition. I mean,
Exposition and Linda Hamilton.
it was like, why did they have to like every time something failed? Oh, here's what we're doing next, and we're going to explain it in details and maneuver it down to layman terms. And I'm like, we don't need all of that.
They did
Just
not do that in the first season.
no.
Actually, the first 2 or 3 seasons. It really came when the budgets really got big, when they moved that shit to Russia is when we got started getting a lot.
One thing I would have liked to have seen explained, just a little bit of exposition on, is is when Nancy and Jonathan they basically open up the hole,
Mm-hmm.
and then their room is filling with that slime that's eventually going to harden and
Oh, yeah.
I was
That
like,
doesn't
what,
harden on them.
like what? Could somebody explain to me what that is?
Well, it doesn't even harden on them.
No, it
Like they
doesn't.
get it
I
all
mean,
over them and they don't. Sorry.
because supposedly that's some vile stuff.
And also, once again, her name's Nancy. Are you saying this wasn't Freddy Krueger the last 5 seasons? Sorry. But yeah, no, it's fine that the one spider thing pisses you off. I
By
know.
the way, guys, real quick,
Yeah.
side note about that too. Um, it's all Dungeons and Dragons, right?
It's
I mean,
all
Yeah.
Dungeons and
That's
Dragons.
all it is.
Vecna is not a character created for Stranger. Vecna is referred to in Dungeons and Dragons long before Stranger Things came around. And so, if you want to, like, if you're really shocked by any of this, go get some dice, have a good time, learn about Dungeons and Dragons. I do. Do you think it? Do you think the people at it used to be TSR, now it's Wizards of the Coast that owns Dungeons and Dragons? Do you think they sat there and going, these brothers made this show, made $1 billion. We've tried twice to make a Dungeons and Dragons movie. The second one's good. Do watch the second
The
one. It's a lot of
second
fun.
one's fun. The second one's fun.
But why can't we sell it theaters? We own it, and they adapted it with the kids playing it, and it made it like the fact that there's a Dungeons and Dragon Eddie's Final Game set that was made where you play his final game that he talked about.
Well, that's what I was about to say. The Dungeons and Dragons argument I would say to those fine folks, is you sons of bitches haven't sold more Dungeons and Dragons since Granny got on the goddamn television in '84 and told everybody you was worshiping Satan. And then they heard I worshiping Satan. I got to have some of them Dungeons and Dragons piss off my own granny because that's what the youth be doing. The
They
youth.
do be that way.
They do
They do
be
be
that way.
that way.
So that would be my counter argument to the D&D folks of you probably have sold more D&D.
Well,
But
no, but I mean, but again, I'm echoing actually what you're saying. If you're shocked that there's giant spiders involved, you're lucky you didn't get a werebear or a were owl in there.
or any of that. The only last thing I want to say about it is two things. One, the last two things is one, it as much as I enjoyed the show and loved the show, and it was great re-experiencing it all when my kid got into it, and we've watched all the seasons at least twice. We haven't went back to watch the last season again. It never got better than the first season. It was perfect.
Hmm.
There's not one false thing. Those kids are amazing. And it just there's some great things I love throughout it, but that first season to me is perfection, and it never got. It's hard, and I'm not knocking the Duff. You can't. That was it. It has to develop. I understand
Well,
why they got bigger and bigger and bigger, and they had more money and stuff.
and
That
I'm sure, much like we disagree over which Lord of the Rings movie is the best, I'm sure there's somebody out there right now going, "You're crazy. The third season's the best one." And by the way, you're probably right for you.
if the third
It's
season
just that
is
I
By the
was a
way,
better
nerdy
than the
kid and
second season,
James,
that's the mall
J-
one, right?
that argument though, it's 2 against 1, so we win that
I
argument.
What about
listen,
the
I
third
wasn't going to
season?
bring it up. He's sensitive.
No,
He's sensitive.
no, the Two Towers is the best
Oh,
Lord
I
of the
don't want to
Rings.
hear about it. You guys don't really read the books, so you're not real fans on that one.
Listen,
So
listen. Anyway, no, but my point is that I think the first season struck home for me because I was those kids, right? I was a nerdy kid that.
I wish I could have been those kids. I didn't have any friends who would have done any of that with
Oh
me.
no, I didn't have
Exactly.
friends, but I think you said actually when it first came out, if I would have had friends like that when I was a kid, my life would have been better.
It would have
Yeah.
been my
I was
childhood
a
would have been
nerdy
better.
kid that would have played D&D, but nobody wanted to play.
I
Right?
wanted to play D&D so bad and never had anybody play
I
with.
never. I
So
mean, I had a friend or two by the time I got to high school that would watch Star Trek, but like elementary school, I
mm.
No,
was
I
the
didn't
only
have
kid
anybody.
talking about that stuff.
I
I
wasn't
was the
even,
only.
and you two nerds are the only ones talking about. I wasn't talking about. I was just been happy to have a bunch of people to hang around with in somebody's basement and make mom jokes and say the word shit and drink Coke.
Yeah,
Well,
that too.
pretty much what you do now.
I know. So I would. You said your life would be better. I would. I will say this. I've actually, and if I've said it once, I've said it a million times. I've never been blessed with good looks, an overabundance of money, or intelligence. But I've often been blessed with good friends. I've had it throughout my adult life.
Hmm?
Yes, yes, I have. I've been extremely fortunate. There's a lot of wonderful friends I've had, so or still have. I've had it then, but I don't know that I had a ton of it, especially when I was that young.
No, no. It's
And then when I did
as
have it, it was about doing substances, things like that when I was a teenager.
well. And I was about to say, and it was. I didn't have that as the youth once said. It's probably outdated now, but I didn't have a ride or die.
No.
I didn't have those kids that I could show up at their house. I had maybe one or two people, but again, it was later. It was middle school, late middle school, early high school. I maybe have had a couple people I could have went and been like, "Hey, I just killed a hobo. Can we hang out here till it kind of calms down?" Why did I go with that example? I don't know, but and so I think that's it, and I think that's why that first season resonates so strongly. Plus, to be honest, there had been shows that played with nostalgia from the '80s before and the '70s, and there's been tons of nostalgia shows. That '70s show is another one I love. I wasn't alive in the '70s, but it works.
Hmm.
This was the first one that was a science fiction kind of horror show that wasn't about time travel. That it
It
wasn't directly about time travel in the beginning, at least.
and I definitely think it is I definitely think it's an insult to say that it is not only a nostalgia show.
No,
Nostalgia
no,
plays a big part of it, but it is. But what I was actually going to say is it never got better than that first season. And back to what you were saying, James and Chad, about the friends. What I loved about it was that that ending showed a next generation, which to me this was what they wrapped it back around in that basement. where those kids are going down there, where they've learned from their older brothers, older sisters, friends about what's cool, which we all do, right? Or we hopefully do from some people. What's cool and what isn't cool. And this is cool. And there's a whole other generation going to discover all that stuff, like that theme poster in the back.
Yeah.
Like nobody could give shit about it in 82, but 10 years, you won't
Oh
shut
yeah.
the hell up about it. And just that's what I loved about it. And that's the reason why I love that they ended with that specific thing with the next generation in it, in the basement, playing D&D, calling each other names.
And they're going to make it their own.
And they're going to make it their own. And they're going to make it in the city, fighting crime this fall.
Which actually is a great lead in to the fact that, we do have new Stranger Things coming out.
Yeah,
We're
I
gonna
haven't
get
even looked it up.
Stranger Things Tales from 85 is going to go back and fill in a gap between seasons 2 and 3. And so you're going to have
Three is my
11.
second favorite season, by the way. What about you all? That's the one with the mall, right?
Yeah, I
And
think
the
so.
most
Yeah.
unbelievable part of that, I've said more than once, is that house was packed for the opening night of Day of the Dead. There's no way in hell that movie came and bombed.
Mm-mm.
Most unbelievable part. Not that the Russians are underneath the mall trying to do time travel experiments. Nope, nope, nope. Day of the Dead didn't have a packed screening anywhere. Poor George Romero.
Um, so yeah, but anyway, so that's going to be the first animated one. And then allegedly there's at least three. Now the conspiracy theory, again, there's another conspiracy theory, is there's five. And I read somewhere all five of them. And by the way, if this all turns out to be true, I will watch every one of them.
Well, I'm going to watch every one of them.
Because there's also the Untitled thus far Stranger Things spinoff. And all that's came out about that was the Duffer Brothers have confirmed that the series will introduce an entirely new cast of characters and unfold in a different decade while still remaining connected to the Upside Down. So a lot of conspiracy theorists are saying it's going to be the younger ones from
Hmm.
that. Um, but also that it would be a clean slate. So, one of the Duffer Brothers said, but it's a clean slate. So we'll see. And then there is confirmed, but nobody knows anything about it other than probably the Duffer Brothers. Uh, a quote unquote secret project that is beyond the animated series and the confirmed live action spinoff. The Duffers have repeatedly hinted that there will be a third Stranger Thing project, one they're not ready to talk about. According to them, this mystery series is fundamentally different from what the fans might expect. It doesn't rely on the existing mythology, but instead builds something entirely different from the ground up with creative freedom. The other two that are not confirmed are and are conspiracy theory based is way back in the year 2022. You might remember that time period. It leaked that there was an anime spinoff called Stranger Things Tokyo. And that basically it was going to be an anime style one where two brothers in Tokyo are experimented on, get pulled in, and then they get out, but then they find that parts of the Upside Down are starting to cross over near them, and they don't know if it's in their head or not. Uh, that was never officially confirmed nor denied by Netflix, and so some people say that's another one that they're working on behind the scenes. My favorite one, though, and I was like, I'll just go ahead and make it a 90s flashback, is basically Nancy running the X-Files. She plays an investigative reporter that has to investigate these weird events going on because she's the only one that believes in them. And I'm like, oh, nostalgia of the 90s, to hell with that show. I will be there because that's, to me, I'm like, oh, it's the Duffer Brothers doing their take on the X-Files,
That'd be
and I
great.
will watch. And then it can spin off into the Duffer Brothers take on Millennium, and I'll watch that too. Uh, because I'm, and that's what I'll say about the final episode in general is I still want to go back. I still give me more. That's great. I, I nothing about that disappointed me enough to where I'm like, no, I'm over it. No, I'll go back. Let's go back to that world. Let's play around in it. Sounds fun.
Yep. Chad?
No, I'll see what they do next. I'm pleased with what they did with Stranger Things.
Yep.
And I would like to see Duffer Brothers do something not Stranger
Yeah.
Things
Yeah,
related.
I mean,
Well, they tried to do, yeah, Big Garris. I guess they were going to adapt the Talisman. They would be number 672, and you have all the power in the world with the cultural phenomenon. And guess what just got killed a few weeks ago? Their adaptation
Yeah.
of the Talisman. So Uh, yeah, I'm with you all. I'd like to see them do something a little different next time, but please bring on more Stranger Things. I enjoyed it. It's a great thing. A great thing. It has been a wonderful thing to share with my son. I'm pretty sure you all shared it with your kids too. It's been nice.
Oh
And he
yeah.
got excited, and I get excited. And actually, the way they released it from Thanksgiving on, I was a little pissy at first, but it was kind of nice.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it worked out
Mm.
perfectly. People had time off work.
Yep.
Well, not everybody. I understand different working conditions, but I had time off work
Yeah, I
and I
had
could
time
sit
off
down and
work.
watch it with my kids.
Yeah.
And I could, you know,
And we did not watch it New Year's Eve when it came out. We
no.
waited to the next day because we were having the Bonehead Christmas New Year's Eve extravaganza. That's right. For your love gift of only $30,000, you too can join us maybe next year.
That's right, T Public. And if you sponsor us, we'll wear t-shirts of your choice, provided they're appropriate at
I define appropriate.
appropriate
I
for
will wear
me.
pretty damn near anything you throw at me for 30 grand.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's also why we had to take those videos down. I listen, I know it was
Also, no one actually was giving me 30 grand.
no, it was $3 in a soda, and I mean, I'm your friend, but
I
that
need
teddy was far too tight.
$3. Nah.
Um, by the way, though, I thought a way to end this, if y'all are ready for me to stop talking and us wrap this episode up.
Yes, do it.
Yeah.
Let's say you did love Stranger Things, and while you're waiting for the animated series, to give you that fix, you need something that's already out, something that's already maybe even done to watch. Gentlemen, what are some shows that you would think about? I've got a list if you want me to start.
I'm just thinking that is Stranger Things adjacent.
I'll give you an
The
example
only
because
other
you
thing
mentioned
I've
it
enjoyed that
before.
much that's even kind of horror related. I enjoyed the animated Castlevania on Netflix a lot. Thought that was pretty good. I'm trying to think of something else.
Hmm.
Well, I'll give you an example if you've never seen it before, and you've mentioned it before on the show. Is actually what made me think about this. If you like small town kids dealing with weirdness, you probably should check out Erie, Indiana with your
Erie and oh,
kids.
I thought you meant like right now. No, 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 no.
No, no,
I
no.
didn't
I'm talking.
discover
That's why I
Erie.
said some, even if it's already over, even
Oh
if
yeah,
it's
I loved Erie, Indiana. I didn't discover it till last year. I knew about it, but never bothered to watch it. Didn't watch it growing up, and no, I plowed through Erie, Indiana. We liked it a lot. The kid and I loved it a lot. That's a good one.
Yeah. It's one of
Castlevania.
it's one of my favorite shows.
Yeah.
Uh, Amazing Stories.
Oh God, yeah. Amazing stories. And here's another one to follow up on Chad. There's some really good amazing stories. There's some not so good ones, but there's some really good ones. And actually, the 80s Twilight Zone has some really good episodes. They're buried because they did a bunch to finish it out in Canada. Not all of those are terrible either, but the first ones are pretty. There's some really good ones, and there's a lot of talent, a lot of
yeah.
talent
And
making those shows.
and for movie wise, again, hold on. I didn't mute in time. I'm sorry, people.
Well, while he's doing that, movie time. What's yours, Chad?
I was gonna say movie wise, Monster Squad, Goonies, The Explorers.
I was going to say
Um,
Explorers, a movie that came and died in the 80s that was rediscovered later.
yeah, I mean all those.
Yeah. But
Uh,
definitely Monster Squad and Explorers. Not shitting on Goonies. It's just because I think more people will know Goonies than the other two. I don't know though. I hear more about maybe it's because I'm in the horror community, but Monster Squad's bigger now than it
I
ever
think
has
yeah, I
been.
think Monster Squad keeps getting rediscovered by new people and loved.
And love, yeah,
Appropriately so, I
just
think.
keeps going. But Explorers is a good one.
Um so I divided this up into a couple lists. Y'all can agree or disagree. But again, if you haven't seen these and you just need something Stranger Things-esque, not this, none of these are a direct translation, but they may at least scratch that itch a little bit. I've already mentioned Erie, Indiana. That's based on, Joe has mentioned it several times. If we've talked about it on the show before, if you've never seen Gravity Falls,
Oh,
it's an
Gravity Falls is so
animated
good.
it's an animated show, but there's some dark stuff in there. And if you get really into it, buy the Book of Bill that was written by the creator. It just came out, I think, Thanksgiving. It's a book. If you buy the collector set, it comes with tattoos, and on the book it said those are actually made from human skin. And there's an asterisk, and it says, "Our lawyers say we can't say that."
Yeah.
There's some dark stuff in that show, but it's also hilariously funny.
Oh, Gravity Falls. Good catch on that. I wasn't thinking, but and if you think, oh, it's animated or if it's for kids, no, pay attention. It's hilarious.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that went over
Yep.
my daughter watched it when it's first out. Now she's catching jokes she missed the first
Yeah.
time. I would throw out you should probably read the graphic novels of these, but the show was okay. Lock and Key
I would prefer yeah,
graphic
I
novels are
never
better.
did finish the first season. I don't know if either one of you all did.
I finished the first season, but that about as far as I got. But Lock
The-
and Key is a series. If you read the graphic novels, it kind of hits that itch as well. You care
Mhm.
about the kids, you care about the family. Um, Similarly, they made a television show, and the television show is okay. The books are better. Marvel's Runaways. If you're tired of superheroes, you might still enjoy the Runaways. It's basically about a group of teens that find out that their parents are going to sacrifice them because they're evil witches and warlocks, and that they've sacrificed children before. And they decide to, as the name implies, run away. And then ultimately they come back to kill their parents because
Oh,
they realize they're the only ones that can stop it. So if you've never heard of the Runaways, they did make a series. The series is okay. It's pretty good. It was low budget,
Yeah.
but the series is okay. The books are phenomenal. Um, those are some that look at younger protagonists, older protagonists. Obviously, the X Files. If you've never watched that and like Stranger Things, probably should check out the X Files. I would throw Fringe out for that as well, because of the warped realities, and also, I'll be honest. Oh, I almost said Walton Goggins. What's his name? Because he plays
Walters?
Walter. John Noble.
John Noble, yeah.
John Noble playing Walter. And if you've never seen Fringe, basically Walter is the most brilliant man on the planet. Leonard Nimoy played his partner. He disappears, and Walter basically loses his mind, is living in more or less an asylum, and they have to bring him out because reality is fraying. And that's basically the first episode, and it gets weirder from there. Twin Peaks, if you've never seen it, check it out. Um, Dark, which was a Netflix series that was made in Germany, I believe.
I've never seen it. A lot of people recommend it, and that's one of those that I need to watch eventually.
I would also throw out one I enjoyed when it first came out. It only lasted a season, so if you want something to scratch that itch but you don't have a lot of time, check out Dark Skies. It does star Jerry Ryan before she did Star Trek Voyager, but it's basically it's set in the 1950s, so it's a different form of nostalgia. But it's a married couple, young couple, recently married, that finds that there's UFOs involved. So it's kind of X-Files in the 1950s esque. But it only lasted one season, but it had some really good episodes. Um, and then if the family aspect is what appealed to you and you've never seen these before, I would check out The Haunting of Hill House. Oh, it's just great anyway.
Yes.
Umbrella
Any of those
Academy's
shows.
Umbrella Academy's pretty good. Um, I would say
You gonna name
even
every single thing?
I said I had a few for each category. So these are families as protagonists. The Lost in Space remake that Netflix did is fun.
I never made it first the past. I think I did the first episode or two, and I never got past that. Did they do two seasons of that?
I think so. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
2 seasons.
You're leaving out one of the most important ones.
Well, I skipped I literally did a list of over 30, and I'm leaving some out. The other ones that don't fit neatly into kids, adults, or families, and you are actually already touched on these. The Twilight Zone, and was on my list. We've mentioned it before, but Castle Rock.
Yeah.
And as I was making this list, I was advised by somebody that I'm not related to that if I didn't mention Penny Dreadful, they'd come to my house. I will admit I haven't watched all of Penny Dreadful.
I
I
tried to
watched
watch that
one
was on
episode.
Showtime. I think I made it through like part of the first season. There's so many of these shows. I'm like, yeah, I just didn't. I don't know, couldn't get through it. You're leaving out Kolchak the Night Stalker.
I know that was actually I that actually oddly enough
Oddly,
was
which is not well,
which is if you like.
Kolchak.
By the way, if you have seen all of the X Files but you've never seen Kolchak the Night Stalker, and we're not talking about the remake.
No
Darren McGavin, old man from the the Christmas
story. Yep.
story. You need to watch him fighting them vampires and whatnot. And by the way, other people, as I was making this list, I asked a couple other people, and they're like, "How about Warehouse 13?" And I've watched some of Warehouse 13, had fun with it, but I don't know enough. But I'm taking their word for it. And then somebody was like, "Well, you have to mention Supernatural."
Oh my God, James, you might as well have said, all right, whatever was playing on the Sci-Fi Channel in the 2000s.
Sci-Fi Channel didn't show Supernatural.
No, but
That was CW.
Warehouse 13 and a bunch of the other ones, those were all Sci-Fi.
Actually, a lot of these were Netflix. Fringe was on Fox. X-Files
Oh
was
my
on
God.
Fox.
Oh, we don't need the list of where they aired.
Dark
Yeah,
Skies
I
was
do.
on.
I do. Let's go ahead.
Well, hold
pull
on.
up a
Was
bowl
Dark
and
Skies
start
on
smoking.
ABC or CBS?
I don't know.
Because
All
it was
right, so
they created it to battle X-Files is what it was meant to do. Anyway,
The
one of these
CW.
will scratch your itch.
Yeah,
Y'all got anything that I left off other than Kolchak?
I forgot who I was.
I thought, well, I'm sorry. I actually thought this would be a nice way to say, hey, there's other stuff to enjoy if you do already miss Stranger Things, if they did mean that much to you. Fill time.
I get
Check some of those out. I'm sorry. Me and my stupid thoughtfulness will go to hell.
apparently. And Jad's laughing again. This has been
No.
bonehead.
No, I'm already here. I'm already there. Go ahead.
What are you laughing about?
Just James.
This has been Bonehead Weekly Fun Size. I hope you all enjoyed listening to James.
It was not fun size. This is a normal episode. There's nothing fun about this.
That's true. This has been Bonehead Weekly.